Well, hey guys, welcome back to Let's Create with Alex Blake. I'm your host, Alex Blake, and today we have a little bit of a different episode. I am, if you're watching on YouTube, you already see this, I'm in a hotel right now. I'm actually in Phoenix, Arizona, which is so fun. I've only been here one other time and it was only for a couple days. So I'm like super pumped to get to be here and it's gonna be a really great week. I'm here until Friday. Today's Tuesday. I've been here since Monday. Wow, that was the whole spiel. Basically, I'm here for 5 days. But I'm here for my friend Preston's event, Club Content, and it's gonna be so fun. I get to hang out with all my friends, and yeah, my friends and I are getting like a little Airbnb, and then we're just like hanging out, want to support Preston and just like cheer him on and support him as a friend, just like everybody does for photo camp and we do for Megan's event. Like we always get together and support each other. So I just love like our photography community and how we get to have like friendships that do that. It's just like the most special thing. But yeah, so I was like gonna do a podcast before I left for Phoenix and your girl just didn't get to it, honestly. Life happened, it was crazy, and it was my birthday on Friday, so happy birthday to me. I'm officially 30, guys. It happened. The big 3-0, it is upon me, and I also saw some gray hairs this morning, so it truly is like, you know, the day of the 30s, like it's happening and it's here and there's nothing I can do about it. Anyway though, so I had my birthday and then I had a big senior party for a bunch of seniors in the Charleston area and life was just crazy and I didn't get to this episode. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just bring my stuff and do it in the hotel? Like, why not? I had a day where I came a little bit early because I had 2 mentorships yesterday. So all of my friends get here today and then the event starts later tonight. So it meant that I had some extra time kind of on my own. And honestly, it's been kind of great. I don't know about you guys, but I love to like solo travel, not for like an extended period of time, but just for a little bit. And it's so fun to just like wake up, figure it out, do whatever you want to do. I didn't get a car, so I've been like walking everywhere and I'm in a super safe area. So it feels fun to just like walk around, find a little taco spot, go shopping somewhere on my own, like have some introvert time. It feels really good. So, okay, I already gave you some of my life updates, but one of the things that I didn't say is that I had an early 2000s party for my birthday and it was so fun. If you haven't seen it on Instagram, go look at my post on Instagram because it was so cute seeing everybody dress up early 2000s. I don't know that I've talked about this on the podcast, but like I have like a weird love for early 2000s everything. I think it's the nostalgia in me. I don't know, but it was so fun. Zach dressed as Troy Bolton and like did his hair because his hair's kind of like longer. He did it in like the Justin Bieber swoop that Zac Efron had at the time of High School Musical. And it was so funny. And then I was like the 13 going on 30 girl, Jenna Rink. So Zach and I like watched the movie the night before and got all ready and in the like, you know, mindset of I'm about to turn 30, 13 going on 30 party. So that was so fun. And then last week I was in Nashville for a girls trip. And the week before that, I had a cruise and I updated you guys a little bit about the cruise because that's where I got the staph infection situation on my nose. But nose update, it's a lot better. So I feel like I had a whirlwind to share with you guys of like crazy stuff that's going on in my life, but such exciting things other than the staph infection. But that it's getting better is nice, you know? So I felt like I just needed to start with life updates before we get to the meat of the episode. But I promise I won't like chat your ear off too much. But this is like such a fun episode because I wanted to like celebrate the fact that I'm turning 30. And I think what is a really interesting thing is that I surround myself a lot of the time with people who are a lot younger than me. And we just have like a lot of people, we live in an apartment complex, we're not yet in a house. And so we have a lot of like people naturally in our sphere of influence, I guess, who are younger. And then even like on social media and stuff, I often feel like I attract a younger audience through my senior stuff and all of that kind of stuff. And so sometimes I think 30 can be like a bad number, but I am here to redeem 30, okay? Because I am so excited to turn 30. I think it's such a like special reminder of all that God has done in the last 10 years in my 20s. And I wanted to share with you guys because I have a little bit of a younger audience. And if you're in your 30s or in your 40s or 50s, and wherever you are listening to this, like I would love for you to join still and listening to this because I feel like you're probably going to relate to a lot of this stuff too that I say. But I wanted to share a couple things that I wish someone had told me in my 20s. Like in my 20s, when I was going through the thick of it and really just trying to figure life out, I wish somebody would have told me these. And I'll be so real with you. Some of these I do feel like people probably did tell me, and because I was in my 20s, I was just not listening. So that's just like a real moment too. But I wanted to share some life advice, I guess, and really me speaking to my younger self. But with that, I know that there's so many people that listen to this that might relate to some of them too. So I hope that it encourages you and speaks to you right where you are. Less of like a photography kind of chat, more of just like life chat. But I think that a lot of it is also applicable within your business because a lot of the time your health and life can kind of help you to have a healthy and thriving business too. So without further ado, here are some things that I wish someone would have told me when I was in my 20s. Okay. Here's the first one. Ask yourself why more. Why do I want this thing? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel hurt or feel angry? Whatever it is. But I feel like asking yourself why is the first step in self-awareness. And I think sometimes in your 20s, you can just kind of be going about life and you know that you feel angry or you know that you feel hurt or frustrated, confused, whatever it is. But asking yourself why is going to help you in so many other situations when you realize, ooh, this why is the exact same as this why. So maybe that's a me issue underneath. And I think self-awareness, when we can start with that, is like so good to learn self-awareness in our 20s. So that's the first one. Ask yourself why more. Something else I wish someone told me in my 20s is to read more books just for fun. Period. I thought this one was kind of silly to put in, but like I genuinely really wish that somebody would have told me this. And I don't know if anybody actually did, but I think like early on in my 20s, you know, when you go to like college and you're asked to read so much, just like textbooks or whatever. For me, I went to a Christian college, so I read a lot of like Christian books that were like, you know, guiding me in my relationship with Jesus, which was so awesome. And I'm so glad that like I had that opportunity to read those books when I was told to. And like, that's a really cool thing. Obviously college is great because you're learning, but at the same time, I think it like stopped me from reading just for fun. And I love to read. I really wish somebody would have been like, even if it's just once a month, or even if it's like super slowly, read a fiction book just for fun. Okay, next one. Something that I wish someone would have told me in my 20s. Just because something is your thing right now, it might not always be. Don't make your identity that thing. Just enjoy it as a season of life. And then I put in parentheses for this one. This goes for people too. Like, don't say that this is like my thing forever, or this is like my forever person, my forever best friend, because so many things in life are seasonal. Could that be true? Sure, it could be true that that is your thing that you really value in life for your whole life, right? Or that person that you know. But oftentimes things are really seasonal. And when we cling to those things, like even photography, or even you're an entrepreneur, you own a business, or this is my best friend, when that thing changes, if that's our identity, then we crumble. And instead, when we make our identity on something that is firm and it is not a shaky thing that can change, because pretty much everything in life changes, then we are a lot more whole of a person when things shift and change. So definitely love that one. Just because something is your thing right now doesn't mean that it's always going to be. Okay, something else I wish that somebody would have told me in my 20s. There is no rush in finding a relationship Okay, this one's big. But I also said, don't say yes to someone just because they're there. And I think that was something for me that, like, for whatever reason, my brain was broken in my early 20s before I met Zach. It was like, if that person likes me and I'm kind of attracted to them, then like, yeah, sure, let's date. Even though that wasn't like the wise decision or like the thing that actually should have happened, it was like I was just kind of going through the motions. But I think, you know, what has switched a lot of that, going back to that first one that I said, was like asking myself why. Why is it that I want this? Why is it that I'm jumping into something like this? Why is it that I feel good when that person talks to me? Again, self-awareness, guys, self-awareness. But there is no rush to be in a relationship. Your 20s is 10 years. 10 years, okay? That's a long time and a lot can happen. There's no rush in finding it when you're 22 or you're 20 or whatever. Okay, next thing. Hold on, I gotta find my place. Okay, if someone asks you to go on a trip and it makes sense financially, just say yes. Just go. Like, do the adventurous thing, forget life, go for a week with some friends, and just enjoy being in your 20s. Be adventurous. And again, if it makes sense financially, don't go into debt. Like, I am very thankful that that was not something that I super experienced in my 20s, but a lot of people do. So no debt. No debt. We don't need to do that. It's just something that's such a burden in life, and you're going to deal with it for years to come if you like rack it up in your 20s for something as silly as travel. But if it makes sense financially for you, travel, do the adventure, go big or go home on it. It's so fun. Okay, next thing that I wish someone would have told me in my 20s. You don't know as much as you think you do. Listen more than you speak. Wait. Hold on, I messed that up. You don't know as much as you think you do. Listen more than you speak when you're around wise people. So yeah, that one's hard to hear because honestly, it's probably still true for me. I don't know as much as I think that I know, and I need to listen more than I speak. But I think that the caveat to that is like the end part, like when you are around wise people. Not everyone should speak into your life. And there are certain people in your life that you probably do know more than in certain areas, right? And there's different areas where they know maybe more than you. But not everyone should have a window into your life or access to give you advice on certain things. But like if you look at someone and you're like, I look up to them in this area, then they're probably wise in that area. And it is somebody that you should listen to. So why do we feel like we have to be like the one who knows everything? I don't know everything, and I never will know everything. And I should always constantly be a learner, especially in my 20s. Okay, next thing that I wish somebody would have told me in my 20s. Don't lose hope. There will be prayers answered in your late 20s that you pray in your early 20s. And that is something that I have seen time and time again. And again, like your 20s is 10 years long, right? And there were things that I prayed for so specifically that I like kind of lost hope in a little bit. And not that I lost hope in like God's goodness, faithfulness, and victory, because like I know that God is powerful and I know that he can do it. But I think I lost hope a lot in like people choosing the right thing. But it's been really cool on the opposite side where over the last 2-3 years, I've gotten to see major breakthroughs in people's lives where I prayed in my early 20s for those specific people and like very specific things in their lives. And now I'm getting to see like the fruit of those prayers and like what time can do and what like God can do with time with people. So don't lose hope in things that like feel like a lost cause, or if someone in your life feels like a lost cause, like they're never a lost cause when it comes to prayer. Like prayer is so powerful and God hears every single one. And yeah, don't lose hope. Okay, something else that I wish somebody would have told me in my 20s. Don't tell yourself you're too young, and don't tell yourself you're too old. 20s are kind of a weird season of life because it does feel a little bit like an in-between. It's kind of like the middle school, if you think about it. Like in middle school, you're in between this like elementary and high school phase, right? You're a preteen, you're not like really fully a full-fledged teenager yet in some ways until you're older, middle school, but like you're just trying to figure out life. And I think 20s is the same way, where it's like, okay, I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm not under my parents' reign and rule, but at the same time, I really need them. And I'm just trying to like figure life out, right? And so in some ways you're this like full-blown adult, and in other ways you still feel like a kid. And that's okay. Like, that's a good thing. That's how it's like meant to be in your 20s. And like, it's okay to make mistakes as you're figuring things out. But sometimes I think you can dismiss yourself because you think you're too old to try something new because you're already an adult, right? Or you even think that you're too young because you're not yet there in life. And what's really cool about your 20s is it's both and. You are an adult and you're also still young. What a beautiful thing. Like, there's so many things in life that you can do because of that. Okay, the next thing that I wish somebody would have told me in my 20s is always say yes when God prompts. Big or small, it's always worth it on the other side. Again, big or small, maybe it's like a big thing, like for me and Zach moved to Charleston. The yes was so worth it on the other side. Best yes like ever, besides like saying yes to Zach, I guess, you know, and to Jesus. But like, even when it's the small thing, he prompts you to pay for somebody at Chick-fil-A. He prompts you to ask somebody how you can pray for them. Like, there's so many amazing things that happen, seen and unseen, when we just say yes to when God prompts. Okay, next thing. There is no shame in doing life in an unconventional way. You don't have to do things in the order of everyone else. I didn't do things in the order of everyone else in a lot of ways. I did online college before online was like a thing, because, you know, like during COVID, it became like a thing to do things online. Well, back when I was in school, it was like, wait, you're doing school online? What? And it was so that I could like get a head start in working. And I really like loved that. But I also felt like this like weird left outness or like shame for doing things differently than people that I went to school with. I lived in a pretty like nice area in my high school years, and a lot of them went on to do like big schools, like big colleges. They would go out of state and all of that kind of stuff. And I had a very different experience, but I look back on it and totally don't regret it. But what I do regret is the shame that I felt with that, of like, oh, I'm doing life differently. Just because it's different doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's totally fine to do things differently if that's the path that you want to make for your life. Okay, moving on. Okay, next thing that I wish somebody would have told me in my 20s. You are always going to disappoint people. Learn how to be okay with saying no to people without fear of their feelings, yet being empathetic of them. This one I think is like the biggest thing that I could say from like all of these. This one I think is like my favorite. If you hear one of them, this is the one I want you to hear, because I think it is such a like hard thing to hold in both hands, is like feeling empathetic for people, but not carrying the burden of their feelings. It's okay for someone to feel sad by what you've done, and you be sorry for them feeling sad about it, but also standing by your decision. Like, you don't have to make decisions based on other people's feelings, but you obviously can't be like a psychopath, right? Or like prideful in, oh, this is the right decision and I don't care about your feelings. No, you have to handle it with care, where like, it's okay to disappoint people. You always will. There's just no way that you're going to please every person on the planet. There's just zero way. But I know as people pleasers, and a lot of the time in your 20s, you're learning this. Like, it's a really hard thing, but it's okay to say no. And if you are a photographer, if you own your own business, this is something you've got to learn early on. You need to learn how to have boundaries for yourself and your life and your business, and say no to people, and it be okay. And if somebody pushes back on that, then you either didn't lead the situation out well with care and empathy for them, or it's on them for how they respond to it if you've done all the right things. Okay, let me get off my soapbox for that one. Okay, second to last thing that I wish somebody would have told me in my 20s. Have someone older that you can tell everything to, even the hard or the embarrassing stuff, and then I want you to listen to their advice. I really wish that I would have done this earlier. I did this when I was probably 20. Okay, I guess I did do this actually pretty early now that I'm saying this. I guess I was like 22 when I started seeing somebody who was like 10, 15 years older than me, I guess, and being able to just share everything with her. And it was great because she was a mentor to me in so many ways, and being able to share the things that like are very embarrassing that I think I'm alone in, or the hard things where I've messed up, but allowing them to comfort me and help me and like guide me into like how to fix those mistakes and not feeling like I'm going to be judged for them is great. Now, obviously you have to find the right person for that, but when you do, keep them close and don't hide from them. Don't hide when you've made a mistake. Like, share it so that you can grow. But it definitely takes humility to share those things. Okay. Last thing that I wish somebody would have told me in my 20s, go to counseling. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, somebody actually did tell me this, but it changed my life when they told me. And it wasn't like in a rude way that they told me. It was somebody who had access in my life to be able to say that to me. But genuinely, going to counseling, guys, changed my life. And I am so thankful that God provided my counselor and has used her in so many different seasons of my life. I went to counseling for a couple of years consecutively, and then I've gone on off as things in my life have happened. And it's beautiful because I've gone to the same counselor. She's seen me through all of my 20s almost. I think I started seeing her around 21 or 22. And it's been such like a magnificent blessing in my life. And I super, super, super encourage you to also find your own, especially if you've kind of like me gone through a lot in your childhood and gone through some like hard things relationally with people or whatever it might be for you. Even if you've had a great childhood, it can be like the beginning of going back to the beginning, like asking your why for yourself. Like maybe you need somebody to help you process those things. Great. A counselor is a great place to do that. So those are all of my things, honestly, guys. Like those are all the things that I wish somebody would have told me in my 20s. And I really hope that if you are in your 20s, you're hearing this as like a big sister chat. Like, listen, these are important things and they were for my life. And I hope that they are for your life. I hope that they're encouraging to you, relatable to you, and all the things. Also, just a reminder, if you are a photographer, don't forget that I've opened up signups for photo camp in September, and it's going to be amazing. So the website is in the show notes, and I'd love to see you at photo camp in September. Okay, bye guys. I will see you guys next Thursday. Mwah. Love you guys.